Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. How's everybody? Hey, Bear, Alan, Renee, Marlene, Rule Lady, Roberts, Marine Hero, JVA. Thank you for inviting followers. Shannon, good morning. How's everybody? Good morning, good morning. Hey, Burke. Big Al, thank you for inviting your followers as you come in. Hey, how are you? Hey, Brent. See people getting knocked out and coming back in. Oh, I never stops. A little upset about the Georgia race. Well, you should be a little upset about it. You should be more than upset about it. Hashtag stop the steal. You know, there's so much going on. Hey, Barbara, good morning. Let me just read really quickly a couple of lines here in Psalm 91, and then we'll get started. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Amen. All right. Been waiting on you all morning. POTUS just tweeted. Cool. Morning, Susan. I see a good day for you. Oh, my gosh. So much is happening. I came on last night. I don't know if you saw my Periscope last night. Okay, Chesney, no problem. And if you haven't heard that, you may want to go back and listen to it. I had talked to some high-ranking officials yesterday from the Republican Party, if you will. Hey, Marianne. And we talked about what needed to be done in Arizona. There's, as you know, Arizona is not looking too well right now with Sinema and McSally. I also talked to just regular, everyday people in Arizona who said there is no way in hell that they voted for Sinema and that they felt something was wrong. Hey, Gary. So what I suggested, and again, you can hear that on the Periscope I did last night. Hey, Sylvia. You can go to Arizona. If you're there in Arizona, you need to go out and demonstrate legally out in front of the registrar's office or whatever you guys call it there, and let them know that you are there, you are watching, and what's happening in Florida is not going to happen in Arizona. And also, if you are wanting to help out, you can go there and you can call the Arizona Republican Party and say, I want to oversee what's happening with the counts. And as many people that can go, you need to go. You need to take everybody with you in your neighborhoods and say, we need to go. This is about saving the country. It's about, stopping them from stealing the votes, but it's also about saving the country. Now, Florida, there are a lot of people going down to Florida today to try to stop the steal in Florida. Horrendous stuff is going on in Florida. Lawsuits have been filed in Florida. These people, the videos that you've seen of people taking ballots out of private cars. Yeah, for Florida, yeah. That all happened last night, Barbara, before and after my scope. They were talking about that. So we need to be praying for those people that are down there in Florida because, they're going in. Hey, Dawn, they're going into a horrible place down there in Broward County. It's probably not too safe for all of them to be down there. I'm sure they'll be tweeting from down there. The telephone number, if you want to call the Arizona Republican Party and tell them, hey, Cully, that you want to be a part, hey, Lori, a part of overseeing the voting down there in Arizona. That number is 602-957-7770. Again, 602-957-7770. Call that number in Arizona and say, I want to be a part of overseeing the votes. Now, if you want to call, and I don't have that number up right now from last night, I apologize, but you can call the Maricopa County Tabulation and Election Center and tell them the world, the United States at least, the United States is watching what you're doing in Arizona. Again, lawsuits have already been filed in Arizona in regards to the mail-in ballots. Apparently, from what I'm understanding is happening is that they have the mail-in ballots now. They haven't been counted, and they're just starting to count those. and people are calling around and saying, did you send in a mail-in ballot? Because sometimes they can't read the signature, they're not sure it's that person, so they're calling around. The lawsuit is to say, you need to stop that. If you want to do stuff like that, you need to do that before the election is held. NAACP filed here. Where's here, Robert? And so, this stuff needs to be adjudicated in the courts. Now, in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, of course. And Cindy McCain, John McCain's widow, came out, and she of course came out against the Republican Party, just like John McCain would if he were still here, and basically said, GOP, what are you doing? This should be allowed. Why aren't you letting people call around and find out if they actually sent in a mail-in ballot? This is really not possible if they run a clean election, so they are rigged. Yep. So, again, if you don't put pressure on Arizona, if they don't think that you're watching and that maybe all of your attention is on Florida, then what's going to happen in Arizona. Now, I realize you want to watch Florida. I get that. But if you're not in Florida, if you are in Arizona, you need to be taking care of Arizona and watching Florida at the same time. The number from last night is 602-506-1511. That is the registrar's office. Call them and tell them that you are watching, that the country is watching what's happening in Arizona, and that you, again, if you could get people that will go down there and stand out and demonstrate in front of that Maricopa County Tabulation and Election Center, that's at 510 South 3rd Avenue in Phoenix. She needs us, McSally, and we must pray. Well, Barbara, absolutely. We need to pray, and we need to go down there. Broward County Election Office is 954-357-7050. For anybody who's down there in Florida, you need to be out there in front of their offices and demonstrating down there and telling them this is BS. And one of the things that, who does the vote counts? A lot of people who are counting the votes are Democrats. We need people in the future, Republicans, who are going to be doing this instead of having the Democrats do it. And every time that there's a recount or a count like this, guess who suddenly finds ballots in the school that was left behind? Democrats. Someone put up Florida number. That was Cully. He just put it up. Cully, if you can put up the Broward County office number again, that would be great. 954 is all I got after I read it off. So we need to be able to do that. But if so much attention, you have to turn them in at that night. Yeah, if so much attention is paid to Florida and nothing is paid to Arizona, then they're going to just do whatever they want to do in Arizona. And they're concerned about it. The people that I talked to are concerned about the counting down in Arizona. Now, Lynn was on last night. Lynn said that she was going to be going and trying to go down there in Arizona and take some people with her. So hopefully that worked out. I noticed a lot of the offices of voters registration is run by Democrats. That is the one reason I don't vote early. I wouldn't mail in my ballot if you paid me. It's hard enough walking in here on the day of. Dr. Snipes said Broward is done counting all votes except for the military. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, never. I don't mail in. I don't do early voting. I go on the day of. And again, that's even doing that. Hey, Jerry, even doing that in California, you're not assured that your ballot's going to get there and be counted. They are sure losers, so they have to. Yeah, they're sure losers, so they have to cheat. Yeah, they do, Kim. They do. Sore losers. Okay. Sure and sure about this. Sore, same thing. The Democrat is like a bad product that people shouldn't buy. Yeah, well, and you have Democrats that are out there voting every time. Count every vote. You are on the wrong side here. I don't buy this liberal stealing votes. Oh, come on. Miss Anthrax. All you have to do is watch the videos. There's a video going around that Marco Rubio put up that shows people taking the ballots out of private cars in Florida, which means the chain of custody was broken. You can't do that. You've got to have people that look over this and make sure that people aren't putting in ballots or taking out ballots. It's called voting. You know, it's a voting process. It has to be done constitutionally, legally, and for everybody, not just for one person or one party. The Democrat, let's see. Good morning, Mark Elias of Perkins Coy, Clinton Foundation, GPS lawyers here. Of course, because Democrats don't know the product is bad. Yep. Somebody asked, they can't win legally, so they cheat. Yeah. So, let's see. They carried ballots in private cars, one person in the car to an enterprise rental truck. I saw that, Jerry. I saw the video. I saw the video of them taking ballots from a private car and putting them in the truck. And the woman asked, why are you, she asked, why are you, with the ballots in the private car? And they said, oh, because the truck left us. Truck was right there. This is not how the voting system is supposed to be. Miss Anthrax has to leave now. She's got to go back to the lab. When ballots are moved, one from both each parties must be present. Yep. Kim, she had to go bye-bye. She needed to go back to the laboratory. It's like someone sending you a lemon and not telling you selling you a lemon and not telling you the truth. Yeah, I mean it's funny because see, if the GOP were pulling this type of stunt, yeah, cop in that video did nothing. Well, Cully, what's a cop going to do? Cop doesn't know anything about federal law. So how do we know those are not counted already? They have to go in a sealed box. Yes, she needed to leave. Yep. On the same note, not the next day. On the same night, not the next day or days later. I found out in Arizona on the night of on Tuesday night, they did not start the voting count on Tuesday. They waited until the next day, and I thought you were supposed to do it that night, and they were supposed to keep going. Hey, Robin, if GOP did only half what Dems do, you can imagine. Oh my gosh. Do we not follow the same law? Apparently not, Barbara. Apparently not. I mean, my gosh. Again, if this were happening, if the Republicans were doing this to the Democrats, there would be everybody, oh, disenfranchised, da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. I mean, my gosh, people would go to jail. We must win with God. Here's another thing that I'm thinking of, and I don't see what you guys think about it. I think we need to start praying more. We've been saying that, but we haven't. I mean, individually, I'm sure that we're doing that. But what about praying at certain times? Like, for example, Friday. What about people taking 15-minute increments to pray? Like somebody says, okay, I'll start at 12 o'clock. And I'll pray for 15 minutes. Hey, Pamela. And then the next person says, okay, I'll do it 12:15 to 12:30. Where you're praying for specific things, whether that be Florida and protection of people down there in Florida. Broward County does this every election, Cully said. Or you mean like a prayer chain? Yes, a prayer chain where we keep it going for 24 hours if possible. That people are praying, and you can sign up for one spot. You can sign up for longer than 15 minutes. You can sign up, twice, whatever. Like setting a time for everyone to pray at the same time, different places. Yes. She just thought we were in good shape and get on with it, and here we go. Barbara, but we talked about this before. It didn't matter whether we won or not. This is going to keep going. This is never going to stop. It's not going to stop. We're in the end times. This is, again, that's why I said it's not about politics. Finally watching on my computer and it wouldn't let me chat. Huh, great, Robin. No, pray without ceasing. Why did we have an election? So the Democrats could cheat and win? Unfortunately, it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. I don't know how many ways to say that where people will understand what that means. I know I don't want to admit that that's the way it's going to be. I don't want to think about it, but the reality of the situation is that's the way it's going to be. We got to start marching. We've got to start marching, but we got to start praying. If we're not doing both,
then we're not getting anywhere. You know, we're supposed to keep on going until God's return. We're supposed to keep on doing what we are supposed to be doing before God's return. Hey, Amber, we cannot take a rest. They will not stop. We can't either. The left is not going to stop at all. Hey, Carmen, they're not going to stop. So if we have it where people are signed up or people pledge that they will do a certain time, yeah, we could march and have prayer vigils, but, you know, I mean, we're not together. I mean, if people in your neighborhood want to do that, like in California, I'd be the only one out there. I can guarantee you that right now. Maybe we should go to the purple finger system for voting. Do something. I had an ID and registration card, but not allowed to vote, not on their computer. Yeah, that's crazy, Angels. But I wouldn't want to vote. I wouldn't want to vote on their computer anyway. I prayed for everyone. Yeah, I think we need to target specifics. I really, really do. And maybe people aren't interested, but I just feel that if we're not going to do this, if we're not going to be consistent, I mean, look at all of us. We're focused on Kavanaugh, and look at the results that we had. No, they won't stop. They had this planned. It will get worse. It will, Rural Lady. You're right. Must confess, it's getting harder to love people. I repent. Carmen, Teresa said, I agree with you, Susan. Sylvia said, okay, Carmen, you can't say Target, Wayne said. I know, but I can say Walmart. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. It doesn't seem like very many people want to do it. So, I'm just putting it out there. That was one of the reasons. How can you set up a prayer chain be set up? I think, Sylvia, what we have to do is that people come in here and they say, okay, every Friday, this is my commitment, or, whatever, like I will do, not, from 12 to 12:15. Somebody else says, okay, I'll do 12:15 to 12:30. And you just kind of set that up and hope people will participate. And again, some people can pray longer. They want, they want to pray longer, and we can do it that way. Teresa said, I will. And we just need people to buy in. One of the reasons, again, that I said that Bill and I, what our hopes were, we're getting together. No, do it individually, Kim, at your own house. Okay, sounds good, Sylvia. Do it at your own house, but do it at your selected time. And we have the topic. So you do it at your own house, privately, in the time that you say that you will commit to doing it. All right, Kim said she's in. Cool. But what I was going to say, that's what I was hoping for when Bill and I were wanting to, yes, a prayer chain, to meet with people, over the summer, to have a gathering where people could meet and come together and pray for this country. Other than doing our show, actually pray for this country, pray together, be in person and pray together. Like the thing a lot of scopers do, I pray at 9, even on a scope, then pass it at 9:15. You don't have to be on a scope. Teresa said, I will also. Okay, cool. You just have to say, I'm going to do this at my house. We need to start bugging the churches to preach the Bible, not this, happy day crap. I wouldn't waste my time, Pamela. I mean, seriously, those pastors that have fallen away, it's very difficult to get them back. Unfortunately, we talk more about praying than actually praying. I'm guilty. We all do, Robin. Renee's in. It would make a big statement. It would make a big statement, but a lot of people don't want to pray publicly, and I get that. If you're just doing it at your home for 15 minutes, where you're reading, Barbara says she's in reading the Bible, or whatever the case may be, and praying as you're reading it. We need to do that, and we need to get buy-in. And I know it's difficult. I pray in several prayer groups on the phone, hundreds of call in at one time. Not my bot, Barbara said. I think more about what's on my mind than pray about it. I know. And God's waiting for us to pray to him. God can read our minds, of course, but we're not talking to him necessarily when we're doing that. And he's waiting for us to talk to him. You and Bill need to do a U.S. travel, the U.S. get together. Well, Teresa, we could only do that with donations. It's not going to happen without it. It just isn't. And because, the two of us, using our funds to do that, it's just too much for us. I mean, if people want that and they want to get together, we can do it, but it's going to take people donating. I'm usually trying to figure out the answer myself. I know, Robin. And usually, we can figure it out, but is that what God wants? I don't know. How did you and Bill meet? I had Bill on my show, gosh, a couple of years back after he wrote his book. I read his book and invited him to be on my show. I think I had him on my show twice. And so he came on, and I really felt that Bill was a godly man. I had an idea for this show, God's Views on Political News, and the first person I thought of to call was a person that I trusted who was a godly man, and that was Bill. I called him up and said, Bill, would you like to do this? And Bill said, I'm in. So that's how we met. He also said, Bill was in Florida this past weekend, and he said that people they came up to him. They were talking about they loved the show. They wanted to know how we met. They said, they wish that it could be on, like during the day they couldn't participate, but they watch it later. But they said sometimes they wish it could be on later at night so they could participate. And again, those things take money. So if you know of any people out there who want to donate, if you know people out there that have a lot of money and are saying, what can I do with my money? He is so knowledgeable regarding the Bible and the Hebrew Torah. I took a class, Teresa said. You can, again, if you know big investors who say, I got a lot of money, I'd love to give it to somebody who preaches about God, or, who's a Christian, or, talks about politics, blah, 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 whatever the case may be, remember us, remember us. We'll be glad to do it. And we would like to do more shows. We would like to do shows at night. We would like to get together over the summer in person. While being on the internet is great, and it, like Robin said, it does save gas. It does. But sometimes you just want to be in person with somebody else. That would be George Soros, yeah. And I'm sure we could hit him up and he'd say, oh, I believe in God. I'll give you all the money you want. Yeah. So anyway, keep that in mind. Keep that in your prayers. If you know somebody who wants to donate or whatever, the church won't really become involved in politics. The church is already involved in politics in some ways. By staying out of it, which is not what they should do necessarily. I like Jack Hibbs in Chino Hills because he gets involved, and he's doing a lot of things and getting sued for it by California. Speaking of California, churches need to be careful. Churches don't need to be careful, Robin. Churches need to preach the Word of God and preach the Bible. They need to quit worrying about, let's get a big mega church going. We can host you in all our homes and cities, saving on hotel. Yeah. Well, as I said, my problem is I have 3 dogs and a husband, so it probably isn't that easy. Hey, Lee, what's the NPA party? Non-political affiliation? I don't know. But what I was saying, churches need to quit worrying about where's my money going to come from as far as building my church and making a mega church. You need to get out there and start doing what God wants you to do. Quit worrying about it. Time is short. Hey, Monica. And Lee, if I didn't say good morning, I thought I said hello, but I was talking, so I'm not sure. Time is short. You need to be out there and do what God would do, not what you want to do in building a mega church. Sorry. Teach the Bible. Let's go, But anyway, what I was going to say about California. Yesterday, let's not forget what happened yesterday in Thousand Oaks. We've kind of moved on away from that, and people lost their lives yesterday. One young man who had been in the Las Vegas shooting and survived it died yesterday. He didn't make it home yesterday from the Borderline Bar and Grill. Got that, Susan? Crazy stuff up. Yes. We need to save our youth from brainwashing. Yeah. And the thing of it is, I don't know, this wasn't even talked about on the news yesterday. There were 2 fires in California yesterday. One fire in Northern California, about 180 miles northeast, I think, of San Francisco. Burned to the ground. Gone. City wiped out. A city of like 27,000 people gone. Yeah, Lori, we were talking about that in the very beginning. And there's also a fire up in, yeah, the whole town. It took out all the structures, basically. And there is up in Ventura County, which is where this happened, the shooting happened yesterday. There's a fire up there called the Woolsey Fire. It burned down structures in Ventura County. It has now made its way into Los Angeles County. And people like Alyssa Milano and the Kardashians are having to evacuate because it's in Calabasas where they live. They were too busy defending Acosta to mention the fires. Exactly. What caused the fires? One, I think, may have been from a campfire. That was the one in Northern California. I'm not sure. And I don't know about the Woolsey fire. I don't know. There was about 8,000 structures that were burned. The one in Northern California, tens of thousands of people fled. A couple of thousand structures were destroyed. People were looking for loved ones from a small town. That town was called Paradise up there. 2 firefighters and multiple residents were injured. It was really horrific, and nobody even talked about it. And I don't even hear anybody talking about the Woolsey fire. It's like, okay, it's just, I mean, people's lives are being lost in fires, or they're being injured, and nobody cares. Yeah, well, what kind of campfire, Lori, Who's setting the campfire? That's the question you need to ask. So, I don't know. And what got me was too much bad news to process. It is, Speedy. Okay, Susan, I think it's time you moved to Texas. I know. Do you think God is trying to send a message to California? Just thinking. No more than anybody else, Robin. We could say, do you think God's trying to send a message to Florida and Arizona? No more than anywhere else. Do you think God's trying to send a message to the United States? Yeah, I think so. To the world? Yeah, I think so. James Woods tweeted about the fires all day yesterday. He was posting to help locate missing people. I know, I saw that. James Woods really got into action. I think there's a message in that we're melting down by our own hand. It's what we're doing. We're doing this. We're doing it to ourselves for the most part. I guess he's already sent his message in Jesus. That's right. I mean, does God put you through trials sometimes? Yeah, I think he does, so that you will learn from them. But fires are fires. People set fires, not God. Well, God could, I guess, by lightning, but that's not what happened. It doesn't rain here, so what happens is we get what's the Santa Ana winds. My son's fiance, thankfully, was not at the borderline that night, but some friends were and didn't make it out. Ugh. God said, turn to him and he will heal the land. Now she was evacuated this morning. Wow. The message in that we need to stay connected to him. Yep. California isn't managed well. You know what got me yesterday, too? I was watching Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, the governor-elect now. He stood there in this press conference talking about the shooting in Thousand Oaks. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the way I was viewing it. I don't think so. But he was like Mr. Giggly. Did anybody, Robin, I know you were there in that press conference. He couldn't stop smiling and giggling. It's like people died, Gavin. People died, and you're giggly. I know. And you're giggly. You were absolutely giggly yesterday. And he just kept talking, well, I'm for Second Amendment, but we just need to do more about controlling guns. Well, it's not about the guns, Gavin. It's about mental illness. He was unbelievable. It was like he enjoyed the attention. He does, Robin. That's the thing. He absolutely does. He's like, oh, I'm Lieutenant Governor today, and all of this happened, and, but you know what? The governor's out of town, so I'm acting governor today. Okay, Gavin, can we get back to the 12 people who died now, if that's okay with you? I couldn't stand it. I had to leave the Periscope. I had to get out of there. I couldn't stand. Look, no, Gavin is Moonbeam 4.0. He doesn't care about anybody himself. He really doesn't. And him talking about, oh, the homeless in California, they need to be taken care of. Look around, Gavin. You're the one with the feces all over all of San Francisco. You caused that, Gavin. You did that. Unbelievable. My head was about to explode yesterday. It really was. I couldn't take it. I really couldn't take it. I've never seen anybody in the face of a tragedy like that giggle so much in my life. I live here. It's awful. Bear, I'm telling you, I live in Southern California. Poor California, they're moving to Vegas. You know, I'm getting to the point where, like, I don't know where to go to get out of... Gracie's here. She heard me thump the table. Have you heard that Feinstein was retiring? No. No, I heard that it's possible that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that's the rumors that she's retiring, but I don't know that that's true. It's okay, baby. I don't know that Feinstein, I don't know that she would retire. Just come to Texas. You know, Wayne, I'm worried about Texas. Ruth has 3 broken ribs. Yep, she does. We might move to Tennessee. You know what? My friend just moved to Tennessee, Marianne. Tennessee is pretty red. Saw a post about Feinstein and it confused me. What did it say, Renee? Evil people like power. That's right. Texas is in trouble. It is. Florida's in trouble. Hi, baby. You're worried about Texas? Yep, I'm worried about Texas, Monica. You and Bill Cloud get together a lot easier. I know, if I were in Tennessee, don't worry, I'm here, Wayne said. Because, Monica, that was, that whole thing with Beto, that wasn't good. Illinois is in trouble. Well, Illinois has always been in trouble, Robin. What are you doing? Come on up. I was shocked to see major cities in Texas vote blue. I know. And, you know, the thing of it is, there's getting less and less cities and states that are red. Just check, Malibu is under evacuation now for the fires. Yeah. It's a disaster. When the winds blow and the fires get started, it's a total disaster. I mean, it really is. Like I said, I've been in 2 fires already, and it's just horrible. Me Too Californians are moving because it's too expensive here and taking their liberal views with them. It's true. They take their liberal views with them, and that's the bad thing. I thought Georgia was red, but this Abrams thing is disturbing, Renee said. California voted themselves an increase in taxes, kind of like across the board. And what they don't continue to fail to understand, red and blue need to find common ground and work on that. They're not going to. They're not going to, Speedy. You don't understand. The Democrats don't want to find common ground. We've been trying to find common ground and be bipartisan with them long before Trump ever came along, and it didn't work. They don't want to be bipartisan. Hey, Marilyn, how are you? They want, it's the same thing with everything else. They want you to believe what they believe, and that's it. I know, Marilyn. I know. Not as long as the crooked globalist control people know common ground. That's right. And Jerry, we're moving toward that one world order. Seems like cinema may take Arizona, plus free advertising with people like Ellen. Yeah, I have Christian friends who voted for Beto. I see, but just because you're Christian doesn't mean that you're not deceived. And unfortunately, like a lot of the pastors, a lot of Christians are falling away. And God said, in the end times, this is what we'll be seeing. I guess what we need to start doing is quit being so surprised that all of this is happening. We just need to go, okay, God said that's happening. Cinema is up by 2.52% as they count for Maricopa County, Dawn said. Beto said a cuss word, my most hated, when he came out. Ted said, God bless Texas. They even unfriended me on Facebook. Wow. Come on, get away from there. Come on. And that's the thing, you know, Beto, and he was playing to the millennials who, you know, cussing is not a problem. Well, and Bears, like I said, I talked to a lot of people. They said there's no way cinema should be winning. Hey, Carol, good morning. Pisses me off that a caravan person vote is counted and mine is not. Seriously. Well, again, the one thing I guess with the caravan, President Trump did sign a proclamation today saying that if you want to come to this country and seek asylum, you have to do so legally at a port of entry. Now, I don't know, 5 minutes from now, I think we'll hear that the court system is coming after him for that and trying to shut that down. Just like they did with the Keystone Pipeline. I don't know if you heard that. The Keystone Pipeline got shut down today. Basically, it was all about climate change. The judge said you just kind of hurried things along and ignored climate change. Robin, I'm really more and more proud of our president, too. I heard so much of this at church Tuesday night, not politics, but the warfare. And here's a good idea. I don't know if you guys, if we do try to get donations, if God favors us with donations and we can do this summer, maybe some of you could ask some of your churches, would they allow us to meet there in the churches or at a campground? Anything like that, where it's inexpensive, where people could come to that campground. Obama was involved in that shutdown of Keystone. Of course, yep. They feel good about winning by cheating, really, yep. Maryland, they don't care how they win. They don't care if it's legal, moral, ethical. They don't care. They don't care. Mine will I know without asking. Oh, okay. In Texas. Yeah, I don't even, Yeah, you're true. I got that, Barbara. They will do whatever it takes. They will do whatever it takes. Love life. That's exactly. If you just understand that, you won't be shocked. Any reputable scientist knows that the CTO levels lag tip increase. They don't lead tip increase. Climate change is a hoax. We all know that. It's a hoax. It's a way to make money and control people. People were saying that it was so close because if Texas Republican Civil War, they will probably have a service for you, Barbara said. Yeah, we need to do something. For me personally, I will have to drive wherever I go, whether that's in a motorhome type thing or in a car. So the closer for us, the better. When you're talking about Texas, that's pretty far. I was thinking more like Arizona, Nevada, something like that. I know that's pretty far for the people on the East Coast, but if we have to travel for days driving, it's too much. Brenda Snipes is a crook. Well, it seems that way, Marilyn. It absolutely seems that way. I was surprised this morning, Laughlin. Yeah, we could do that way, and Laughlin would be fine. And if people could help out a little bit, like if you're in an area and you could help out by finding out like the cost of things, like maybe like the cost, if like in Laughlin, if they had an outdoor campsite, if it wasn't 1,000 degrees, wow, as soon as you said that about climate change, it kicked me off. Wow, Lee. I'm not surprised. It looks like it's kicked a lot of people off. You might want to move here. I live in the reddest area in the nation, Barbara said. It's like I told you the other day, I told my husband, as soon as Gavin Newsom, if he implements that one payor system in California, I am out of here. Done. Gone. So my husband knows that. Dems having House are now forced to act on their false claims and investigate it, right? Yep. Come to Texas. I mean, yesterday, here's what gets me. Now, MoveOn.org has a lot of money, and they put those protests together yesterday against, the president and protect Mueller. I get that. But I'm saying we couldn't get enough Republicans like that together if you said free meal here. Hey, Harley guy, if you said it's a free lunch, you couldn't get that many Republicans to come together and do what those people did all over the United States yesterday. Too hot in Texas for me. Yeah, it would be for me, Robin. I'm prone to heat stroke, so that would be hot. We need more people like you in Texas, Susan. Well, Monica, I don't know. Want to help migrants donate food and keep them in South America? Yeah, Joe. I mean, look at how many people we help and send money to anyway. I still hope Texas someday succeeds. That would be very difficult. They called it in 24 hours. Yeah, there were too many Dems, but they were not all legal citizens, like everywhere else. California, I'd hate to see how many illegals voted in this race in California. They'd be counting for the next year on that one. We passed the halfway point a long time ago. If you wouldn't mind retweeting this, I would really appreciate it. Time goes fast when you have a lot to talk about. I don't think Robin is in here today, but I kind of wish she was. We were talking about, or I saw this morning on Breitbart, about Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky. You can say that again, California's a mess. Yeah. Oh, there's Robin. Robin, I was just saying, I was hoping that you were here. Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky. I love this guy. I'm going down to Mexico and casting my gringo vote twice, Joe said. He said the left is committed to a strong and well-funded federal education department because progressives know they win by gaining control of public schools and in teaching children. I mean, did you hear that? Years ago, when I was, however long it's been now, when I was a contributor with The Blaze, I wrote an article. It's called something like Progressivism is Alive and Well in Your Public School System. Some people tweet it every now and then. You can find it online out there. And here, this guy now, a representative in Congress in Kentucky, is saying the same thing. Jimmy Carter started. I was with my... Oh, no problem, Roman. Jimmy Carter created the Department of Education. I don't know how people, why they can't understand that the public school system is their breeding ground, if you will, for brainwashing your children into progressivism. Why do you think kids talk a lot about what they do these days and why they love socialism? Where do you think they learned that? It's called the progressives taught them that. And they teach them more and more each and every single solitary day that they are in public schools. And it's kind of like you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. It's their breeding ground, yep. So, I mean, one of the things that we could do is try to get rid of the Department of Education. You know, I mean, I think it's practically impossible, but maybe we can pray it away. And maybe we can do things to go out and try to get it, you know, to convince President Trump that we shouldn't have it. Again, I think it's going to be extremely difficult. I don't know that it could happen. My grandson loves Trump. His classmates tell him Trump is a bad man, 9 years old. Yep. And where did he learn that, Marilyn, you know? And the teachers will teach him that too. Oh, wow, what next? Yep. But you got to learn about progressivism. I mean, this is real. This is what globalism is all about. The Bible talks about the one world order. This is where we're going. And I know that nobody wants to hear that from me probably, but this is where we're going. I think that is a goal of Trump's to get rid of the Department of Education. I hope so, Dawn, but he's got so much other stuff to do. What does this say? We are slowly going over the edge, everyone. Slowly? Slowly, Harley? And celebrities help influence the kids? Yep. Yep. The universities are teaching whites are privileged and horrible? Yep. Yeah, it's just, you know, leading off from high school, just taking off from there and going into college and getting even worse. And it's been this way for a long time. When I was in college, it's the same thing. If you didn't write the way they wanted you to write, if you didn't write the liberal garbage, then you didn't get a good grade. And that was in North Carolina, for God's sakes. That's where Obama and Clinton's plan to take us wasn't God's timing. Yeah. But you know what, Teresa? You have to ask yourself, we could have had, I mean, you know, while we did extremely well. What are you doing? Hold on one second. What are you doing? No. Sorry, I have to get something from Gracie. She was trying to chew a pin. We don't do that, Gracie. I forget where I was. Sorry. Send your kids to a private university. That's where my husband teaches. Many Christian professors. Yep. People are so much more opinionated nowadays. Yeah, they are. Sorry, had to change systems there. A lot of us protesting, peacefully protesting in Florida. And V is, yeah, well, listen, whoever, if anybody, pins are good, fibers, yeah, the plastic ones. If anybody is in Arizona or anybody goes to Florida and you have video, send it. I'll retweet it. I'll get it out there. Everybody needs to see it. You know, and again, it really helps if you retweet things, because the more you retweet it, the more people see it. So anyway, also President Trump said that he may take the press passes away from more reporters if they're not respectful. I say good. I say go for it. It's okay to ask questions. I have no problems with them even asking him questions about whatever they want to ask. Can't go to my voting place and protest. I will end up in jail. Trust me. You have to be professional. What are they going to do next? Take off their shoe and throw it like they did at President Bush when he was, where was he, in Iran or something like that? You were saying something of that's why we're doing so well about something. Oh, I was talking about the midterms, and I was saying that we did do well in the midterms. We did better than Clinton, who lost 50 seats. We did better than Obama, who lost 63. But you have to ask yourself, why didn't God allow? Why didn't God allow for us to have the House and the Senate? Why? Ask yourself that. I don't know the answer. Did we get too complacent? Did we not turn back to God when He gave us, that reprieve? Did we not turn back to Him like we should have? Would it have been better had we done that? It would have been bad either way, meaning because the Democrats weren't going to quit. My daughter and I wanted to protest at the Social Security office. The wait was horrible. Yeah, well, maybe you should have, but that would have gotten you kicked out. But what I'm saying is, why didn't we get another reprieve? Was it to make us tougher? Was it to make us get up off our laurels, and stop sitting around thinking that, oh, we got it made? Was it to tell us that, I see the lamp in there, to turn back to God and He'll bless us? I mean, I don't know the answers. I think it's questions that we need, make us more aware, probably. Sorry we are being rude, we jump scopes. I know, it's okay. She was just getting her name changed, married now. Yep. Big protests against the voter fraud going on in Broward County. Yep, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be there all day, and it needs to be a big voter protest. And we need to pray for those people who are down there, because they're not going to like them coming down there. So, pray that they're safe. President Trump did do something really great that nobody's talking about. He put in place what makes America doesn't have to pay for abortions. And we've kind of talked about that before under Obamacare. But in Planned Parenthood, of course, they've come out now and they're saying that Trump and Pence are taking direct aim at women's health and abortion and birth control. And the new rule directs that the insurers that sell Obamacare plans will need to, anybody who wants elective abortion, like that, will need to collect a separate payment from them rather than, for the enrollees, rather than allowing it to be lumped together like it was before. So, President Trump could do so much more if we didn't have all of these distractions, all of this crap that's going on. It never ends, and it's never going to end. Until the Democrats get control again, this will never, ever, ever, ever end. And so, again, if you think that, if we win, and look, we had control of the House and the Senate. And what happened? It was crap every day from the left. Crap every single day. And now they have the House, and what are they doing? They're using that power against us. Look, I think birth control pills are good, and insurance should pay. Abort never. I, you know, I don't know. Should you pay for birth control? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of things that we should pay for, but should we pay for, the things that men want too, as far as, birth control and stuff? I don't know. It is better than abortion, Barbara, but they don't use it. I mean, they still have to get abortions. I think sometimes God makes it look difficult so we know the good can only be in Him. Yeah. Yeah, it's a prescription, but they won't do it. You said crap 3 times. I know, Wayne. And now that was the 4th one. If they can afford a 40-ouncer, they can afford a condom. I know. I mean, even if they get condoms, even if they get birth control, it doesn't mean they're going to use them. You're not ending life with birth control. That's true, Don, but you got to use it. There were too many rhinos when Trump was elected. Yeah. Yeah, I think when also there were too many rhinos that weren't gotten rid of, and there were too many people that Trump hired that weren't necessarily the best hires. You know what I mean? Like looking back with Tillerson and McMaster, people like that weren't the best people. And of course, it's easy to sit back and Monday morning quarterback because we're not doing it. And he'd never been president before. I think overall he's done pretty darn good for having never been president to come in there and get together people that, pressure from the RNC. Exactly, Laura. Too many never Trumpers, yeah. And people don't understand, why he talks the way he does. They don't get it. We were not really in the majority. We had too many McCains. Yep. He's done great. He has done great, Robin. And he continues to do great. I don't know how he continues to do so great under the BS from the left and what's happening every 24/7 that goes on. I don't know how he functions well. And now he's off to Paris. I understand why he had to go. I wish he didn't go to Paris. But, that's just me. But I hope he gets back soon. Like, just go there, get back. Who cares that Sessions is fired? Really, they care? They don't care. The only reason they care about Sessions being fired is because they wanted Sessions. They knew as long as Sessions was in place, he was going to do absolutely nothing about Mueller. And they knew Rod Rosenstein wasn't going to do anything. Like I said, it shows it's only God yet. And they knew that when the moment that Sessions went out and Whitaker came in, who's anti-Robert Mueller crap, there's the 5th time, they were afraid that, okay, we've done this for 2 years. We've held things up for 2 years. Now we want 2 more years up until the election. They were going to take the Mueller investigation on up to that election. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe we won't be able to do that. So let's get out. Let's protest the fact that Sessions is gone. It's just a reason to get out and protest. And while we're there, we'll talk about no one's above the law, except if you're a Democrat out there protesting, probably without a permit and in the streets. Those people. Love the new proclamation. The asylum proclamation stops him cold. Well, Laura, for now, and I guarantee you, before the weekend is over, the ACLU, somebody's going to file a claim. Yeah, Dawn said, let's not look at the glass half full with Dems getting the House. We still have 2/3 of power. You mean half empty? They get no say. Well, crazy, the courts are very willing to hear anything that's put before them, and the liberal courts. This is why we need Ginsburg to leave, go bye-bye, hasta la bye-bye, so we can get some more conservative judges on the court right away. Because if the Democrats get back in control, all they're going to do is add more seats on the court and put more liberals in place. Understood, in the end, it's just wasting taxes. I don't know, like what's going on in Florida right now, what's going on in Arizona, what's going on in Georgia, and the reason people should be there is because this is, again, about it's saving the republic for as long as we possibly can. Didn't Trump fill the ninth with more conservative judges? Yeah, he did. He's appointed a lot of judges on the appellate court. I know he's put at least one conservative there. They're having a few people protest in Fort Worth about Sessions. I know, they're clueless. They don't even know who Sessions is, I'm sure. To hell with them. It's time for hardball with these blah, 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 blah. Sabu said. I suppose Minnesota isn't rechecking theirs. Did you hear that Ellison resigned yesterday from the DNC? Okay. Now, why don't you go ahead and resign as being the Attorney General? And all because of the allegations against him. What about now you're Attorney General? No, somebody said let's get paid. Exactly. This whole thing with Ellison, it's it's laughable. If it weren't so true and so horrible for America, it would be laughable. You just can't make this stuff up. You really can't. But, I mean, you resigned from the DNC because of the physical abuse allegations, but yet you're the Attorney General of the state. I just like government feel like something bad's going to happen. Crazy. Have you read Revelation? Something bad is going to happen, but we win in the end. But something is bad's going to happen. I know, again, I know people don't want to hear it, but it's, and as Barbara said, yeah, it already is. I mean, we're seeing a breakdown of our country. You can't go since the early 1900s. It's embarrassing how other countries are mocking us. Yeah, well, Teresa, they have no room to mock us, but yeah, I'm sure they do. But we've gone from the it's true, Susan, check, Joe said. We've gone from the early 1900s watching our country slowly being ripped apart, subtly at first. And then, yeah, God is in control. There's no reason to fear, Celeste. No reason to fear. It's just coming. But we've watched it kind of just dwindling away. Obama really sped that up over 8 years, man. You saw our country being ripped apart. Everything that we were as a country and what we believed in was basically non-existent now. And Hillary was supposed to put the final nail in the coffin on that. He said so he can direct his full attention on his AG job. Yeah. Dawn, it's just so crazy. Absolutely just nuts. So, again, that book that I recommended that people read if you really wanted to know about what was going by Paul Kengor called Takedown, that tells you what the plan was and how far along we are. I got to say this of those young people who were in both shootings, how many turned to God, yeah? But we need, and all of us are guilty of this, I think, you myself included, we need to turn to God when it isn't about when we're scared or when we need something. That's the hardest part. Barbara, that was your bot. It started dwindling away since the early 60s, and look all that took place in the 60s. God was taken out of the schools. Yep. God is out of the schools. We don't, our churches some of them are falling away. They don't teach the gospel. They don't teach all of the Bible. So, what do we expect? And again, we need to start praying more. It really, I think, did help in Kavanaugh. I really do. I think if we had not prayed, if we hadn't focused on it, Kavanaugh wouldn't be the Supreme Court justice right now. And we've still, it's not over. I mean, there's so many things. They're trying to steal in Florida. They're trying to take it in Arizona and Georgia. And more and more and more. So it's nuts. But what are we going to do about it? I know, however, sometimes a lot happens because God is trying to reach maybe one person to change. Yeah, it's true, Barbara, to change the world. It's absolutely true. And again, God does put us through trials in order for us to draw closer to Him and learn from it. It's not what we necessarily want and like, but it happens. Just keep praying God's will be done. Exactly, Robin. Exactly. Well, so keep watching, keep praying for those people down in Florida and Arizona. If you have any word about anything, what's going on, make sure you tweet it out there. Have a great weekend, everyone. And replace, yeah, the government replaced God. Well, and climate change replaced God. A lot of things are replacing God. Idols, where we spend our time is replacing God. All that. So. I may be on, during the weekend, so keep your notifications on. Till then, God bless you all, and we will see you soon. God bless. All right, God bless you over there on YouTube. We'll see you on Monday, and I may be coming on. I don't know. I won't be on YouTube, but sometimes I come on Periscope. So if you aren't following me on Periscope, you can do that at Susan Knowles on Periscope. And just click on the notification button so whenever I come on, you'll know it. Take care.